To remember this fight scene from Return of the Dragon, Bruce Lee fights Chuck Norris in the Coliseum, a prolific fight. In the beginning, he begins to lose this fight. Why is that? This is the reason of this today's Tuesday Tips show. Tuesday Tips for Business show. Hello, everybody. What's going on? Sunday, there was a show out that I missed on ESPN called Be Water. Okay. If anybody is a big follower of Bruce Lee, they know what that show, what that's about. With the biggest changes that's going on in our country today, with the death of George Floyd and his funeral today. Hold on, let me get something here. Okay. We're in a situation now that we're gonna have to adapt to. With the COVID, with the police brutality in this country, the economic changes that the COVID has happened, Carl, we're at a crossroads of this country, people. And this is what this documentary also talks about. Can America change it? Can America adapt to what is going on in this country? Can they? Without that, if you can't do it, we will never be able to get out of this situation. Let's go. Back here. That with the cat. You see the reference of the cat and Bruce training and warming up. These are messages most people will miss. Okay? Fight with this movie. Let's move this a little bit forward here. Okay, that's why I'm not worried about it. Let's go here. Here it is. Okay. With that, you see, Bruce figures out that he's losing his battle. Okay, he's losing this battle bad. And he knows he's going to have to adapt to the situation at hand and change his method. And this is the same thing that has happened with most of us in business. Okay, most of us in business have not been able to adapt to the changing markets at hand because we've had a lot of disruptions in business today with social media and the internet. A lot of companies have not recovered or have not been able to adapt to the changing markets at hand. I'm trying to share this out to everybody, but this stupid internet streaming is messing up. But We are at those crossroads, people. We're at crossroads now where most of us are going to either adapt or not be here because the market is going to move forward, regardless of whether we're here or not. Okay, it's going to move forward. It's going to move towards a place where we all are either, like I said, adapt or die. And the ESPN show talks about being like water. And most companies, most people in business have not learned to be like water. In business, you got to be like water. You got to learn to adapt to changing markets, changing situations, changing all types of things. And it's going to be a continuous changing. Most of y'all are not adapting to the changes in the marketplace, and you're going to be out. And especially in our marketing industry, they've been struggling forever to use social media or to teach their team social media marketing strategies. You don't have to be a technician or technology person to know how to do this. You just have to be willing to adapt and apply things. And they're not doing it. They're not teaching it. Right now, I'm having streaming problems, but I'm going to figure out how to do this stuff. Because this is a must. I grew up, like I said, Bruce Lee was a big influencer in my life as far as martial arts, um, boxing, all types of sports, all that kind of stuff. Big influence in a lot of people who have been in the martial arts as long as I have. And you take all these type of things with you to every phase of stuff in your life. And this is what I have done. If you look at all your top athletes, they all have been somewhere around been influenced by Bruce Lee. Even late Kobe Bryant that we have just lost was influenced by Bruce Lee. Let's look at this fight again. See, he's moving around, just changing his strategy. Same this has to happen in marketing, business. See? That's good. When one strategy don't work, you have to adapt to another. If you see in that scene in Return of the Dragon, he changed his strategy and it made it hard for Chuck Norris to tag him or do anything. It's the same thing that has to happen in business, people. When one strategy don't work, you have to adapt and change your methods to make them work and go around. The same philosophy is about being like water. Being like water is adapting. When Bruce Lee was always talking about being like water, he was basically talking about to change and adapt. Because water is a powerful instrument, but it's false. You can't even grasp water. If you look at that scene in Return of the Dragon, Bruce is being like water. Chuck Norris couldn't touch him. Same philosophy. Bruce was adapting, flowing. Okay, water can adapt, and you put it in any container, it becomes that container. He also said, put water into a cup, becomes a cup. You put water in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Water can crash or can flow. I want you to be like water. So that's what every martial artist, as a martial artist, is go at philosophy, physically and mentally and spiritually, is to be. And what you do is take that too within business, because they're going to always be different situations that are going to change. It's going to redirect your methods, your marketing. Something's going to disrupt it. You're going to have to change. You're going to have to look at the environment and to understand the environment that you're in and to adapt to it. If you don't adapt to it, if you don't learn to adapt to it, you're going to fail. You're going to be caught up. And a lot of companies have been caught up. You look at what's the companies? Well, you look at what's happening with JCPenney. There's some who were smart, like the L brands. They closed all their brick and mortar stores, went online. They realized what's going on. I think that's what's happening with Victoria's Secret. They're closing all of their stores. They're going online. Nationwide Insurance is closing and restructuring their business model and having people work from home because, hey, they're paying all this rent. Well, somebody told me millions of dollars in rent somewhere at the Nationwide Tower, somewhere around here. They said, why should we pay that? And we can do the same thing, have our business model and employees work from home. So it's adapting. It's adapting to the changing market, the changing situations that are happening right now that we're in. And each market we're not, contrary to what we're not going to go back to what we were pre-corona. Them days is over. Work-wise, we're not going back. My business partner, Kent, he's now working from home. They closed the office where he used to work in Westerville, so they moved it to Dublin. But he may still be working from home. He knows he's going to work from home at least till October. But I had a friend too. She worked for here Columbus Metropolitan. They dissolved her job because of the corona. Been trying to tell her, get internet access. She was lucky that they kept her because they got rid of her job. She didn't have internet access. They said if she wanted to still work, she was gonna have to get internet access because they're training her to work from home. So all these type of things that are happening in the world, you're gonna have to learn to flow, be like water, adapt. I worked for this company in the mid to late 90s called AirNet. AirNet was they were airplane freight. They flew all your canceled checks all over the country, okay? And when the thing called Check 21 hit early 2000, late 99, early 2000, it affected their business. They didn't adapt. Lost a bunch of banking contracts here around Ohio. It really affected their business, and they had to lay off some people. I was one of the people got laid off. Their business had it was like I was doing some things with this business also, but it still wasn't where I wanted to be. That business still they just didn't have one thing. They had they shipped specimen pharmaceutical stuff around. Still, the biggest part of their business was checking. They're still around out here. They're still doing the testing, probably like we got over for Corona junk. They're flying all else tests around the country, but they had that on with their whole business model. But as I'm saying, with all business models, with all income, with all you got to have, what we talked about on my Sunset Sunday show too, about adapting and you're crazy to have only one stream of income. So it's always being like water. It's always being flowing. It's always being about adapting. All these situations are going to change. Contrary to what everybody wants or gets mad about, there's a big debate about whether this 5G situation is good for your health or not. All your phones that are working on 4G pretty soon are going to be working. You're going to have if you still want these phones, you're going to have to go to 5G, whether you like it or not. They talked about how 4G was bad. They were talking about something. It's adaptability, people. And in today, without these, you're lost because, hey, if it wasn't for these type of things today, we wouldn't be talking about, we wouldn't have had the marches that we had today over George Floyd's death. Bless his family and the situation what that's brought about. This thing has changed the game with all this brutality that we witnesses, and that people say this has changed some things. I hope it has, but change is going to have to come from always keeping pressure. As they put pressure on that man's neck, we're going to have to keep pressure on the necks of brutality, misogyny, racism, bigotry. We're going to have to keep pressure on that shit like they did to that man. That's what we're going to have to do within our bit. With anything that you want change with, you have to keep the pressure on. Okay, you have to learn to adapt too in business. Be like Walter. We're gonna have to be like Walter even in this protest, because they're gonna try some different strategies to throw us off. This man is in the White House. They're gonna try some different strategies to win the vote. They're gonna try to make it harder for you to vote. I'm not a big proponent about. I'm not saying not telling people not to vote. I just got a different idea about what the votes should be and why things are happening. But they're going to try to make it harder for you to vote. They're going to try to make it hard for you to vote and make it you stand in line. Plus, they're going to try to not have the mail-in vote type of stuff, but his ass is mailed in shit. So it's all those type of things we're going to have to maneuver. We're going to have to be like Walter, either go around them, over them, or through them. Or keep pressure on them and go through them. Water does that. Water may be soft, but it's resilient. It adapts and it destroys. Okay? Enough water can destroy any rock, granite, even metal. It may not do it right then, but it keeps consistently pounding till it rusts it, bends it, and breaks it in half. Okay, with that being said, I just hope you got value from this little business tip. What's going on? No, I'm not showing you any software tips or technical stuff. This wasn't something I came across, and I said, let me do this my business tip, Tuesday tips on this week, because we're in a situation, folks. We're in a situation where we got to learn to adapt. We're going to learn to adapt. We're going to have to learn to change. We're going to have to learn to do anything. This is like you saw in this fight scene. Let's go back and look at this fight scene, what Bruce Lee, let's go back and see this. Let me go back. You notice when Bruce Lee tried, I mean, when Chuck Norris tried to adapt to what Bruce Lee was done, it didn't work. So you got to only find your own way. Okay, that's all this is about. With that being said, I hope you got value from what I'm saying. You can follow me on YouTube. Let me see here. God, what's going on? Subscribe to my YouTube channel here. All right, and subscribe to my Facebook Lives. You can do that here. Right. Also, let's go on. Get on my newsletter. I have a newsletter, Gregory Smith Online, my blog. Get on that. Get alerts when that comes out. I shoot out my blog every Friday. Get alerts. If you're on my email list, that will shoot to you every Friday. Okay. Get on that. All right. And let's see. Let's go on here. If you like, I'm using a software here. Oh, okay. Wait, here it is. If you like this software, I don't know what's going on with me today. Okay. Come on. What's going on? Great show. All right, dang. All right, here. StreamYard. That's the link. If you're looking for software to stream on multiple social media platforms, take a look at that. Copy that, screenshot that. They give you 25% off on doing this and so. Okay. With that being said, I hope you got value for this tonight's show. Tuesday tips every Tuesday around in the evening, sometime around this time, maybe a little later. All right, people. Hope you got value. Share this out. Give me some love on Facebook and YouTube. Hope you got value. Take care. Peace out. We'll see you on the next video. Also, come to what is this? Every Wednesday we got a show coming out. You can don't I had it on here? All right. Oh, right here. Our training Wednesday nights, right here. Okay, great. God. Go to that link with a training. We're going to have a big panel of top marketers on talking about what strategies they use to adapt and make it to 6, 7, and 8 figures that they make in business. Go to that link. Register for that tomorrow night's training. With that being said, I hope you got value. Peace. Take care, and we'll see you on the next video. I'm out.